All right, Shalom. This is Hara 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Ha Rakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right, I got this video here, man. I'm not going to play the sound because it got music in the background. But yeah, it's something that happened on July 2024 where some northern tribes, a family, they saw some multiple chariots, or it was one big chariot, But they said the lights were orange, and that made my spiritual antenna go up. So I wanted to do a elaboration on this video. All right, so I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna just read the words at the bottom, the captions, so I don't get a copyright strike because of the music. All right, but it said on July 2024, a man witnessed an orange, triangular shaped chariot in the sky. All right, so it was in New York. Witnesses three glowing. See, they don't know if it was one or three. Right, three glowing orbs, which they could look like orbs to us, but up close they could be circular. But the light from it, from a distance, and us being three-dimensional, would see it as a globe. He said it passed above his head. He said, take a look. He said, this was the person was saying when they were recording. He said, take a look. These things, look at these things. They're orange. All right, they're orange. And we know orange is a derivative of amber. All right, he said, look at them. Look, the things are orange. Look at them next to each other. They're literally flying next to each other. All right, and that's scriptural. And I'm gonna play the video if I can, without getting a copyright strike. But that way you can see the chariots. But I wanted to read it for you real quick. It says they're flying next to each other. They literally fly next to each other, and they're orange. Snap that. All right, check it out. Let me get these precepts real quick, man. It's deep. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 4. And it says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north. So just like you would like a hurricane, it was a whirlwind. Same whirlwind that came and took Elijah, all right, from the chariots, because it's spinning. And also, it would be like if you was standing under a helicopter, it'd be like a whirlwind. All right, meaning something was in the sky. It says it came out of the north, a great cloud and a fire enfolding itself. So even Ezekiel thought this was like one chariot, but come to find out, it was multiple chariots flying in V formation. All right, but they were all flying in unison and next to each other. A great cloud, all right, and a fire enfolding itself, man. I mean, it was moving towards them. And a brightness was about it. That's what they said. What? Orange lights. All right. And out of the midst thereof, of that light, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. And, so it looked like a fire in the sky. But those fires was lights, all right? Now, let's get this real quick. They said cloud by day, fire by night. It says amber, a bronze polished spectrum metal. If you take bronze, that's what I kept saying. The chariots was like brown. Matter of fact, if you go down further, it'll tell you. Ezekiel 1:7, and their feet were straight feet, so their path they just went straight forward, and they were set up for righteousness. That's what that represents. All right, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, so it was round and circular, meaning it was made to either go left or right or in any direction. That's what it means by sole of a calf's foot. And they sparkled. All right, and that comes from something called zoomorphism, to where they take characters of an animal and apply it to um, another what's it called, a noun, another thing. Okay, so and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. Come on, man. He's talking about the chariots right there. The burnished brass would give off that hue or that light in reflection of amber. Why? Because amber is a derivative of brown, and amber and brown and yellow in between you get orange. That's why this guy, the first thing he said was orange. All right, so those are the chariots, man, and he said burnished brass. Now if we look up, that's what I was doing. If we go back up to amber, it says, whew, it said metal. Deep, man, metallic. All right, damn, I'm going to the wrong one. Salakia. It says here, bronze, polished spectrum metal, a shining substance, amber or electrum or bronze. Now, I'm going to show you something. Watch this. I'm going to show you something real quick. Check this out. See? Now, where is it at? See, amber. Look at this one real quick. You got a yellowish amber, right? Around here. So, but now let me get to the point. Go back. This is amber. Let me go ahead. Is amber a form of orange? What color is amber? Amber is a bright, at a brightness, warm color that is midway between yellow and orange. So it's close to orange. On the heck chart used by web designers, the amber color code, whatever. Right? Well, check this out. There you go. Is amber burnt orange? Amber is a color between yellow and red, usually described as a warm yellowish or orangish brown. So when it's talking about amber, it's talking about that orangish bronze or brown color. You know, new burnt orange color called amber, but anyway. So yeah, amber and orange, they correlate with each other. All right. So now, see, for instance, even though amber is a yellowish brown, but in between you get a orange brown, and that's the hue that it gives off. But this is a amber lead sensor light, just amber lights. Look at it. It looks orange. All right. So you can if somebody was just looking at that in the sky, you would clearly think that it was orange. If you went first thing you say, oh, that's yellowish brown, you would say that's like orange or something that you used to saying like amber or something. All right. So yeah, yellowish brown or amber can easily be equated with orange. And this guy said, what?
And then there's this footage of a woman capturing the same thing.
Things are orange. Look at them next to each other. They literally fly next to each other. They're orange in color. Look at that. It's a triangle.
The objects seem to remain in a triangular formation as they pass. The man begins asking strangers on the street if they've ever seen anything like that.
You guys know.
All right, so let's get into the. It says they're literally flying next to each other. All right, and that was a spectacle to see. You know how in unison they were flying with each other, going straight forward. All right, it says and they're orange in color. You're like, look at that, right? Let's get a precept real quick. This is Ezekiel 1:8. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their four sides. So the power of Yahweh was propelling these chariots. All right, all the chariots that was in that fleet. And they four had their faces and their wings. So they four had their duties, and they four had their fleet of chariots with them. So it was four main archangels, and they have each one had four chariots behind it, like in a V formation. All right, just like this, but it was only three right here. Or this could have been one big chariot, you know. Now it says, and their wings, the chariots, were joined one to another. See, that way he said they flying right next to each other. Look at them, they flying right next to each other. They was in unison with each other. All right, joined one to another. They turned not when they went. All right, so these chariots, that's why I said the sole of their foot, like a calf's foot, mean they can go in any direction. It didn't have to turn like a plane does to go right or left. And actually he was seeing it go straight forward. All right, just like this guy, he like it's just going straight, right? And their wings were joined one to another, and they turned not when they went, and they went every one straight forward. All of them, they were moving like a fleet through the sky, just straight forward like the ducks do. All right. So I'm gonna get a couple precepts to back this precept up. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go down real quick, verse 12. And they went every one straight forward, whither the spirit was to go. They went, and they turned not when they went, man. So they didn't have to turn; they just went straight forward. And even if they wanted to go this way or that way, it was still like all of that just moving. Now they just going this direction. Whew. All right. So now let me get a precept. All right. I always like to go to this precept, this scripture, because there's a lot of history and details in the book of Maccabees. But let's go to it again. This is 2 Maccabees 5:1. About the same time, Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt. All right, a lot of you know when that was, 169 BC, and his second voyage was 168, okay, BC. That's when he came up against the children of Israel, tried to force us to eat swine and Hellenize us, and the result ended in 164 BC with Hanukkah, all right, the rededication of the temple. So verse 2, it says, and it happened that through all the city, so it was multiple fleets all over the city, for the space almost, what's this? All right, for the space almost of 40 days, so almost a month or so, there were seen horsemen running in the air, so chariots with people, with individuals controlling those chariots. All right, horsemen running in the air, flying, propulsion, man. It's deep, So in cloth of gold and armed with lances like a band of soldiers. So they were, setting up for war against the Greeks, Esau. and troops of horsemen, troops of them. So it wasn't just like one, it was a few of them, and then they had troops with them, just like the fleets we reading about in Ezekiel 1. Just like a duck fleet, right? Or the geese or whatever that fly south and all that, and north, and they fly in V formation and they lead each other. All right, and troops of horsemen in array, so in order, in formation. As like the guy was screaming out, they just moving. Look at them, they all lined up. They're in formation. He said that. He said they're in formation. And it says, encountering one another. See that? That's what it means to, what was I reading earlier? It says, their wings were joined one to another. That join means to kiss, meaning like they were together. That's what it means. All right, they were in unison. All right, encountering one another, passing through or right next to each other, and running one against another. What was that guy screaming out? They're right next to each other. Running one against another. With shaking of shields and multitude of pikes, drawing of swords, casting of darts, and glittering of gold ornaments, and harness of all sorts. But right now, matter of fact, wherefore every man prayed that the apparition might turn to good. So it looked ghostly to everybody. Because these angels are from the spirit realm. Even the chariots are. That's why it said the hand of a man is under it. It's the Most High propelling these chariots. His power, his spirit. All right. But yeah, running one against another, encountering one another. That means they were joined one to another. They're moving in unison with each other. All right. They turned not when they went. They were going straight forward. And they were orange or amber in color. So I believe this was a legit sighting of the chariots. All right, so Ezekiel 10 and 11, when they went upon their four sides, meaning they can go in any direction. That's what it means by the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, meaning it was shaped to go in any direction. All right, and it was like a spoon in the sky. Now, when they went upon their four sides, meaning they went in any direction, north, east, west, or south. But they turned not, but it says they turned not as they went. See, it's a chariot. It was already spinning or whatever, and it can go in any direction. But check this out. The horsemen. But to the place whither the head looked, they followed it. It said whither. Let's go right here. Ezekiel 1 and 12. And they went every one straight forward. So whichever way it wanted to go, it can go in that direction without turning. All right. Whither the spirit was to go, they went. And they turned not when they went. So whatever that angel inside of that chariot wanted to go, that chariot would go that direction. All right. But to the place whither the head looked, it's like Ezekiel 10 and 11 again. But to the place whither the head looked, they followed it. All right. So wherever the leader went, the other angel would look in that direction or go that way, and the chariot would go that way. I'm gonna read it again. When they went upon their four sides, so they went in any direction. They turned not as they went, but to the place whither the head looked, they followed it. They turned not as they went. Man. And this is why how Ezekiel could see them, because they had windows on it. All right. I did a lesson on it talking about the strakes. It said the strakes were high and fearful, like meaning if that chariot come lower, those windows way up there. It looked kind of intimidating. Like a plane, it's huge. Ezekiel 10 and 12, and their whole body and their backs, meaning the whole chariot, and their hands and their wings and their wheels were full of eyes round about. So they had a bunch of people, a bunch of angels round about them. Even the wheels that they four had. So even the chariots had windows and a bunch of people all around them, just like it describes in Daniel 7, and then in Revelation chapter 4. Matter of fact, let's get it. This is Revelation 4 and 8. No, let's go to 6. And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were four beasts full of eyes before and behind, as it just read in Ezekiel. So it's basically saying it's full of people, spirits, angels, all around them, the souls of the Israelites as well. And the four beasts represent those same four angels or living beings from Ezekiel chapter 1, or the book of Ezekiel. But it says, what? Full of eyes before and behind. And they also had what? Windows where you could see them. And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast was like a calf, meaning, and the third beast had the face of him as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. See? Like. Meaning, this was their duties. This was their offices. Lion, calf, man, the flying eagle. These are the top animals on the earth. Even man, we're, animated animal. But the lion is the top of its portion. The cattle, the calf, the eagle, the birds, and us, humanity. Over it all, right? So these are the duties of the angels. I can do a lesson on that too. Yahweh Ratazah, why the lion, why the calf, why the eagle, why did he name it, dealing with the man. All right, what's the whole duty of man? To serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And the angels tend to man. So now, anyway, let's keep going. Verse 8. And the four beasts had each of them 6 wings about them. So each of the angels in this vision that John the Revelator saw, all right, on the Isle of Patmos, he saw one chariot with a bunch of angels in it. And the scriptures say that thousands of angels in them, in the chariots. And behind it, he had 6 wings, 6 other chariots behind him. All right, and they were full of eyes within. So it had angels that are inside, and they rest not day and night, saying, "Holy, holy, holy." And it could be the elect, a vision of the elect, holy in the chariots. Holy, 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 Lord Yahweh Almighty, which was and is to come. And when those beasts, those angels, give glory and honor and thanks to him that sat on the throne, who liveth forever and ever. Sheesh, man. I want to keep going with that. But anyway, this is the point. They were full of eyes within. All right. And they had a bunch of chariots, a fleet of angels with them. You see that? So now check this out. All right. So Ezekiel 10 and 11. When they went upon their 4 sides. So they went in any direction. And they turned not as they went. So they didn't need to turn around like planes do. But that's how you know they're 4th dimensional. All right. This, now they got drones they make too. So it says, but to the place whither the head looked, they followed it. All right. So, and they turned not as they went. Whew, man. and their whole body and their backs and their hands and their wings and their wheels were full of eyes round about, even the wheels that they four had. So even their chariot had windows and a bunch of angels in them. All right. So matter of fact, I'm gonna go a little bit further because Ezekiel 10 details Ezekiel 1. All right. Now, as I was saying, the angel that's in the chariot controls it with the spirit, man. Look, check this out. Ezekiel 10 and 14. And every one had four faces. Okay, I just read that. 15. And the cherubims were lifted up. This is the living creature, the angels, that I saw by the river of Kibar, man. See, it's the same ones that he saw in Ezekiel chapter 1. All right. But I'm telling you, it was a fleet of chariots that were bronze in color, but they were giving off a light from it that was the color of amber. And they met up with another fleet of chariots, and the leader had sapphire. Their chariots were sapphire in color. And Ezekiel saw this, and it shows that the point that the Most High was showing to Ezekiel was that it's the Most High ruling in the heavens and in the earth. The same way he controls lightning and sends that down to the earth through the process of thunder and the whole accumulation from the heavens, which would be like the sun, moon, and stars, space weather. It's the same way the Most High controls Yahweh Shai and the angels and send them down into the earth, into this matrix, as his hands operating in the earth. All right, that's the point. So when we see those chariots, we're seeing the eyes of the Lord. It's to say full of eyes. All right, his eyes are in every place. Now, Ezekiel 10 and 15, and the cherubims were lifted up. So all the cherubim, I think that's what it say. I can look up the word in the Hebrew, but it's plural. It was multiple, and they were lifted up. It's kind of like having it said when before the voice spoke, before the Most High spake, the chariots settled down to the ground, or closer to the ground. And the angels were looking up at Yahweh sitting on the firmament. That's Ezekiel chapter 1. All right. So after this happened, the chariots were lifted back up. And the angels was outside of the chariots as Ezekiel 1 describes it. And it says, what? This is the living creature that I saw by the river of Kibar. All right, so cherubim, it says karawab. All right, karawab. Or karawaba, or karawab. That would be the right way to say it. All right, an angelic being as guardians of Eden, as flanking Yahweh's throne. Whew, man. As the chariot of Yahweh. As a chariot. Man. All right, so Ezekiel 10 and 16. And when the chariot, when the angels went, the wheels went by them. Look at that. So when the angels started walking, the chariots was right there with them, like over top of them. So they were, as they walked and moved around, the chariots was like just like they were over us in the wilderness. The wheels went by them, meaning near them. You know, imagine like what's that, Dragon Ball Z, the Nimbus cloud, it would follow him around, I think, and then he would fly up on top of it. Goku. And when the cherubims, the angels lifted up their wings, their chariots, to mount up from the earth. That's why the Lord said we're gonna mount up with wings as eagles. We're gonna fly. But it says what? To lift up their chariots to mount up from the earth. It's like having a garage right there in front of you, but it's a chariot. You just hop on the chariot like it says in 2nd Ezra 13, where Yahushua flew up upon the mountain, which was a chariot. All right, whew. To mount up from the earth, man. The same wheels also turn not from beside them, man. See that? So the same chariot was just like the angels got each angel had their own chariots, man, and they had a fleet of angels in them with the chariots, in the chariots. When they stood, these stood. So when the angels stood up, the chariots lifted up too. And when they were lifted up, these lifted up themselves also. That's like some Star Wars type stuff there, man. For the spirit of the living creature was in them. All right, so the spirit of these angels, which is the spirit of Yahweh, the spirit of Yahweh Shai that's in the angels, that spirit is operating in these chariots. That's why I kept saying the hand of a man is under it. All right, that's what's controlling it, the spirit. So that was the point. I'm gonna show something. All right, because it kept saying the wings. They had the wings, right? Psalms 91, and I might get straight to the point. Okay, I'll start from 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow or protection of Yahweh. So they're going to be protected by the Spirit of the Most High and by these angels. That's the shadow of the Almighty. All right. I will say of Yahweh, He is my refuge and my fortress. Right. We're not going to trust in this new world order. We're going to trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to deliver us from what's coming. All right. And to raise us up again if something does happen. All right. My power, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. The fowler is a bird catcher, and Israel is that bird, the speckled bird. And the snare is the trap that they got coming. And the Lord is going to deliver us from that. And that trap ultimately is the missiles, right, and the MOTB. And the judgment for that MOTB is, Revelation 13, is the destruction. So the Lord is going to deliver the elect, the believers, from that, that trap. And from the noise and pestilence, all right? He shall cover thee with His feathers. His feathers are His angels, so the Lord going to give His angels charge over you to cover you. And under His wings shalt thou trust. So the same angels, those horsemen that the Lord was speaking, that the scriptures speak of, that look just like us, but they're not flesh and blood, they're spirit, the angels. He's going to give them charge to protect us if we have the elect. And under His wings, even just like we did when we left Egypt, 1446 BC, in the wilderness, we trusted under the wings of Yahweh, and we're going to trust under His wings again. All right, under His chariots. Under His wings shalt thou trust. All right, His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So that's going to be our confidence, is the truth. So now the wings, let's get that real quick. That's Hebrews 3:6-7-1. It says, an edge, see that metallic metal vehicle. As I read, you heard these terminologies as I've been reading. It said vehicle, metal, metallic, bronze, amber, sapphire in color. It says an edge or extremity, a wing, like a wingman. So the V formation, you have the one in the front, just like with the ducks, they lead with that. You can hear that sound, and the two behind it give off the same sound, and the two behind it, and it expands out, just like in the Air Force built their design of flying off of that as well. All right, wingman, a flap, a quarter, a pinnacle. All right, wing, extremity. Okay, so and it says here what of a bird, of an army wingman. All right, the army. Let me get some. This is Revelation 19, and it'll start from 14. And the armies which were in heaven. See, they're the armies, man, spoken of in Ezekiel and Maccabees. The army of Yahweh, the heavenly army, the heavenly host. All right. And the armies which were in heaven, it's stories, it's levels to the heavens. So in the fourth dimension, in the third heaven, or wherever they are, they're going to come into this realm. Man, all right. Let's get to the word armies in the Greek. I just want to see for myself real quick. It says an armament. Wow. The cavalry, man. A body of troops. More or less extensive or systematic. An army. A band of soldiers. That's why the slaves sang them songs. I looked over Jordan, what did I see? Coming forth to carry them home. A band of angels coming for me, coming forth to carry me home. See, our people knew about the chariots. Looking up into the sky. This was before the Wright brothers made their planes and shit. So a band of soldiers, bodyguards. Yeah, that way Psalms 91. They're going to give his angels charge over us. Bodyguards, guardsmen. They're going to guard Yahweh Shai and guard us. Man, these are set up to fray the four horns, man, to chase and put fear into these nations. So the Lord going to send us bodyguards with Yahweh Shai. Psalms 91. They're going to bear thee up in their hands and gather us up if we're of the elect. All right, so in the Revelation 19 and 14, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, so they can fly up on top of the chariots. White means dazzling or glowing chariots representing righteousness, just like it said in Ezekiel 1. They had the straight feet, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. They're gonna be glorified as well for the ceremony, for the marriage. All right, the marriage of the heavens and the heavenly the heavenly Sanhedrin that the Lord is establishing, the heavenly council. All right, judgment upon the earth from heaven. And the Lord is going to merge it together. The bride and the groom, Yahushua and Israel, the elect. All right, and the holy angels are going to be there too. So, right, so yeah, man, when they saw this chariots going by, it looked like it was in V formation. And they was like, it's not even moving. They like locked in place with each other. All right, so Isaiah 31 and 5, as birds flying, right? When I clicked on wings, it says birds or army. All right, in the sense of the wings or the V formation. And as an eagle, the Lord going to deliver us swiftly. All right, as birds flying, man. And they're going to show up as a flock. That's why it said a group, a troop of army, a cavalry. All right. Bodyguards. Now it says, as birds flying, Isaiah 31 and 5, so will Yahweh of hosts, of the heavenly host, the heavenly armies. That's what it means. He shall defend Jerusalem, which is the city of peace, the elect. Man. Defending also, he will deliver it. All right, so he's going to send the angels in defense and Yahushua. And in the midst of that, he's also going to deliver us while defending us. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper. He said he's going to deliver us in the sixth trump. That's defense. But in the midst of that, he also going to deliver us from the destruction, the judgment of Yahweh. And passing over, he will preserve it, man. So now, let me click on birds. I just want to see. All right, birds, fowl. All right, little birds. Flying, man. All right. To fly, to hover, to light upon. All right, to cause to fly to and fro, to cover. That's right. So the Lord gonna give us cover from them angels. All right, with wings or obscurity. So the Lord gonna cover us with His chariots, man. Implication of dimness is there goes into Ezekiel 1 with the shadow, abide under the shadow of the Almighty, the wings, from the darkness of swooning. All right, kind. All right, so the angels also represent the shadow and the covering, protection of Yahweh. All right, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So that's how he's going to defend Psalms 91, his elect. All right, and that's why we're seeing the chariots popping up, because that final prophecy is at the door of Revelation 13:16, the MOTB in World War III, and also the deliverance of the children of Israel in the midst of Jacob's trouble. So I'm going to get one more precept. This is Matthew 24 and 27. It says, "For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be," man. So the Lord gonna show up just like lightning, like, fast. All right, in the twinkling of an eye, it's gonna be quick. But every eye shall see him showing up, but the deliverance gonna be fast. All right, so anybody say, "Yeah, I saw the Lord. The Messiah is in Jerusalem. He's over here in Miami." Nah, it's gonna be a spectacle to see. Revelations, I think it's 1 and 7. Every eye shall see him. All right. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be, and that's Yahweh Shai, a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, the son of Yahweh, a mighty angel, the first of us. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered. So wherever the body is, there shall the eagles be gathered. As the bodyguards, right? The eagles are the angels. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven. So that in the tribulation, Psalms 91, the Lord gonna gather his angels around us, around the hopeful elect, to protect them in the midst of the sixth trump, the sixth trouble. All right, the beginning of Jacob's trouble, which we're kind of in right now, but the climax of it is the destruction. But even the famine, when the MOTB get pushed, martial law, all these things, we're going to need protection from that. That's why I said the Lord going to give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. This is before, he said, then they shall bear thee up in their hands. So at some point, they're going to protect you all up until you get into the chariot. All right? So wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. And it's deep because remember, one of the fleet of the angels, the symbol is the eagle. All right. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. This is a nuclear fallout. And the stars shall fall from heaven. All right, missiles. And the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So it's going to be so powerful. Not only, the ruler is going to be shaken out of place, but this is talking about the earth moving to and fro. It's going to send out mushroom clouds out into space. And that blast is going to be, move whatever surrounding us in the orbit. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Yahweh Shai going to show up, as we just read earlier. All right. I think it's Revelation 19, where he's going to show up with the armies of heaven. All right. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. So the sign is talking about what? Salvation. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together. They, the angels, they're going to be sent out to gather together the elect from the four winds, so all at once from around the world. The main place we're going to need that quick deliverance is from America, Babylon, because of the destruction. And from one end of heaven to the other. All right. Whew, gathered from all over the four corners of the earth, four hemispheres of the earth. But yeah, man, and the eagles be gathered, and that's twofold, because the angels gonna be sent out to us, and also the martial law troops gonna be gathered after really 2/3. So because that goes with when the enemy shall come in rushing as a flood, the Lord gonna lift up a standard against them.
High above his head. Take a look.
Things are orange. Look at them next to each other. They literally fly next to each other. They orange in color. Look at that. It's a triangle.
The objects seem to remain in a triangular formation as they pass. The man begins asking strangers on the street if they've ever seen anything like that.
You guys know what that is? You see that?
I love.
All right, I'm gonna end with this. Isaiah 40:4. Every valley shall be exalted. So us being made low in the places where we're scattered, we're going to be exalted. All right, the elect, the hopeful elect. The elect, but we say hopeful elect. And every mountain and hill shall be made low. So all these nations and kingdoms are going to be brought down. That's why I said Yahweh Shai, on his head is going to be many crowns when he shows up. And the crooked shall be made straight. That's us being taken out of this hellish condition and being put back on top in rulership and righteousness, and because basically our breach is going to be fixed. Okay, our breach against the Lord. So and Esau going to be put back in their place. And the crooked shall be made straight. So the Lord gonna get rid of wickedness and set up righteousness, establish righteousness on this earth. And where we were in sin, we're gonna be made righteous. In the rough places, plain, man. All right. So where the way was hedged up and things were in our way, it's gonna be a smooth path. Nothing in our way. And the glory of Yahweh shall be revealed in every way, even amongst the elect. From heaven, Yahweh, and sending Yahweh Shai and the angels, he's going to send his glory through them. And all flesh shall see it together. So this guy not going to ask it in that day. If this brother's around, hopefully he's one of the elect, from the northern tribes. But he was like, did you see it? Do you see it? He said, well, all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of Yahweh hath spoken it. right, with that, I'm going to say Shalom.